Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to TRG Central. Today we'll be starting a series of holiday special broadcasts. Essentially what this series will do is preview a couple sets that will be coming out either early 2024 or sometime during 2024. The first set that we're going to preview in this episode is the 1946 set. Yes, we're going all the way back to 1946. So, first thing we're going to do is then just go over to the Drew Report and we'll take a look at the names of some of these horses that are in the set. As you see here, right now there's 156 horses in this set. And because this is kind of a unique set for us, what I've done is I've separated out the 2-year-olds, and they'll be in their own set. Because essentially, during a racing season, the 2-year-olds will never race against 3-year-olds and above. That just doesn't happen. So to keep each set kind of reasonable as far as total horses are concerned, I decided to split them up because as you'll see in a later episode that the 1946 2-year-olds season set will have over 100 horses too, which will probably make it the largest number of 2-year-olds ever carded for a particular season. Okay, that out of the way, we can take a look here at the horses that are available. Some of the big name ones are Armed and Assault. Go down through some of the rest of them. There's a good chance that a lot of these may not be known to most of you, but if so, good for you. Okay, again, this is a video. I've always mentioned that you can always stop the video and take a look at any of the horses or whatever we happen to be doing. I was just looking, there's a couple, this set has a couple War Admiral offspring. There was, see here, War Watch and Re-Admiral. And that's one nice thing about some of these older sets, and actually any set in general. If you look at your stars, it's pretty interesting that how many horses may be in a particular set that were sired by a given horse. So here I just sorted it by sire. You see one animal actually has 3. And we'll sort it again so it's back in regular alphabetical. You'll see here, look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4 horses. 4 siblings there for fellas. And you can kind of go through the list this way too. And it might be kind of interesting for somebody to take a horse that was sired by a particular horse and put them together in the race. Heliopoulos also has 4 horses in this set. And put them all together, like take 2. There's a one from Seabiscuit, that's interesting. And so forth. And you can do the same thing with your grandsire too, because you may find some horses there. And unfortunately, every so often we have a hard time back in the early 50s and beyond to get any pertinent information about any of the horses other than some general statistics. Let's see. Uh, but like I said, you can kind of go through here and look at that bulldog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 horses that have their lineage going back to bulldog. There's some Gallant Fox. I'm sure a lot of you racing fans have heard of Gallant Fox. And it looks like I found a typo error, so we'll make sure that's fixed. F-O-Z-E Fox. Grandsire. Anyway, it's kind of interesting that you can sort through the wall. Look at the man of war. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, that may be an interesting race to have all grandsires of man of war, grandsire siblings. You see them all right there. That would be a nice race. So anyway, just to get a feel for what's in the what horses are in the set and a little information about them. Of course, you could have done the same thing and sort by trainer. A little older. Owner may have a couple horses in the set. Trainer may be training a few. So, anyway, this is a nice report that allows you to get a little what we call vital information about the horse. So, I'm sure everybody was thrilled about hearing information about that. We really want to run some races. We'll go to the race selection, and we're going to go ahead and run the Kentucky Derby for 1946. And since there's more than 10 horses, there are 2 heat races. So we'll go ahead and bring up the first one. And there we go, we have 9 horses in this one. Looks like Lord Boswell is the favorite. So we'll go ahead and start this race. And what we'll end up doing is after we run both races here, we may give you the opportunity, if you'd like to, put some fantasy money on some of the horses that will be in the final. And the way we'll handle it, we'll have 8 horses in the final running of the Kentucky Derby, and we'll take the top 8 times between the 2 races. So now, if you were actually manually running the game, that would allow a little more competition with the middle of the road horses trying to get the best speed possible. Alright, so let's see. We don't need to do anything here. We're going to run on the fast track. The post positions are pretty similar to what they were in real life. Essentially, heat race 1 has all the odd post position numbers, so Kendall was probably post position 1 in real life. Lord Boswell was probably post position 3, and so forth. Oh, we have looks like the favorite running in 9. It'll be interesting to see how well Hampton can do in the race. That's the best odds. So let's go ahead and head to Churchill Downs and start the race. And you see we have the 9 horses here. And you can see who's riding. There's Eddie Ricardo, and probably one of the great horses to jockey of that era. And there's Ted Atkinson on Brooklyn Brown. He's also rated very high, F5. So let's say those two jockeys are the top two jockeys in 1946 and probably throughout the whole era. I think we're all set to get started. Go ahead and make sure the beat regulator is slow enough so we can actually see the race develop. And we'll go ahead and start the race. We got the okay from the Stewart Tower that everything's set to go. Horses are in the starting gates and they're off. And Wee April gets out first. Remember, Wee April was actually, we have sire is actually War April. Okay, we have a little option in our TRG parameter set up that if there's at least 3 forward movement points left, it stops and lets the user know if they'd like to switch to the manual mode for that horse and see if they can do better than what the auto jockey did. So we're going to do a switch. And then see that's Hampton. We're Hampton down in lane 1. Let's do an undo. We started that. And in this particular case, he's not going to be able to slip through anything because you don't have any jockey points on. Who's the jockey? Just a rated 0. Oh well. So let's see if we can do something else here. We can go outside and go 2. Now we can't cut inside because you're not allowed to cut in front of a horse. Unfortunately, you have 2 sideways movement points that he's going to have to probably burn. But he does get a better position for the third turn. I think we're going to leave him there. Because we can't do any forward boost, and then we can't do anything with the jockey because he has no points. He's not one of the better jockeys in the set. So go ahead and end the turn. Go back up to spectator mode and resume. Which we're on turn 3, and Wee Admiral will roll first. Yep. We have this Stewart's Tower saying everything's okay, and there goes Wee Admiral has himself a pretty sizable lead there going through. Oh, but Alaba caught up to him going into the backstretch and passed him. And it looks like Alaba has a very sizable lead. It looks like might be there to coast to a victory in the first heat race. Okay, that finishes the race. Unofficially, it looks like Amada is coming first. Hampton did come in second for the guy starting out in lane post position lane 9. He did a very good job. Wee Admiral did end up fourth after a fantastic start of the race. He kind of like slowed down a bit, and you can see though after Hampton, all 3 third, fourth, and fifth were all neck and neck. And in fact, you had that group of 4 trailing all of them throughout during the home stretch. So let's say and finish out. And we can't really verify any of these here because the set has never been run before. And there you go, look at that. Alama win. If you have put the win bet on him, $191. Okay, there's some wagering stats down there. And looks like that we're good for the first race. Let's go to the heat race too. And we could have gotten real fancy. We could have created ourselves a schedule just for the Triple Crown races and be able to run them all through a schedule if you wanted to. In fact, that may be a nice little feature to add to the set. Add a Triple Crown schedule. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the Kentucky Derby Heat Race 2. Again, it's at Churchill Downs. This time there's 8 horses in the race. And you see Assault. Assault is probably one of the best horses in the race. And you can see the morning line definitely favors him to win this heat race. You can see there's some other morning lines that are pretty astronomical and probably have little to no chance to win. But you never know. That's why they run the races. So let's go ahead and go to Churchill Downs and we'll run the second heat race. Okay, we just go through the horses one more time. Assault has 1 Maheders and Allworth and Spy Song. And this is an all-time great, Johnny London, in the Hall of Fame. Pellicle? Okay. Almost like Popsicle. With Pellicle. With Pleasure. Art Jungle. Ripley. And Shama. Okay, I think that's that. We know the HGIG later is real good. As we first race was, you can see the race develop real well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the race. See if the racing officials at the Stewart Tower announce the horses are in the starting gate and are ready to go. So they're off. There you have the first turn, and we see already a lead change in game turn 2. Dark Jungle's out in front, and all of a sudden he got slowed up, and Assault and Flystong are 1 and 2 in the back straight. Looks like Assault now taking the commanding lead. Flystong looks like is a distant second, but third is real far back as the rest of the pack is far behind. And it's an easy win for Assault over Spike Song, probably Ripley, and as you see, they just broke the record again if they set the last time. Okay, Assault runs in 2:01. 3/5. You bet on him, you pay $380. Okay, take a quick look through all that and see it was a log jam for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place. Okay, that's it for the racing at Churchill Downs. Now we're going to go over to the race utilities. And we're going to aim create the field for the Kentucky Derby. So here's the official Kentucky Derby. And you see it's pretty much the same style race. Now, I was going to click on one of these other heat races. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link both of those heat races to the Kentucky Derby. save it. Let's see. Or update the rates and exit. So we'll update the rate, exit, go back in, we'll do the next one. Again, we'll go Kentucky Derby Heat Race 2, and we'll link it to the Kentucky Derby also. And you'll see why in a few minutes why I wanted to do this. And now we'll go back in, select the Kentucky Derby. We're not going to change anything here. No, we're just going to, excuse me, we're going to save it. Click the save option, but we're going to do option 8, which just goes to the select fields because there was nothing actually updated in the Kentucky Derby. So we're just doing that so we can get over to the select the fields screen. You see there's no horses found yet. But what this does, and since we link the two races, the two heat races, you see now the available horse list is all the horses that ran in those two races. And they're also ranked. And you can see that it shows their time, and it shows a special rating number that we give to horses after their race to kind of rank them. So you see here that even though Almond had the best racing time, he's ranked second behind Assault. So you can either use this or this, but we decided on race time, so we're going to use the actual race time. So that means Almond, and we're going to go 8, and I'm just going to put each horse, well, I guess we'll do it the way that I normally like to do it, and I put the best horse in the last post position, just to give others a little more of maybe a handicap per se. So let's go ahead and put him in post 8. We'll put up Salt. Oh, we have Hampton actually is the second at 201.4. So Hampton that goes second. And 201.6 you see is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll decide those by this number here for the tiebreaker. So that means Assault's next. And Knockdown. And Lord Boswell. And we Avro. So we need 2 more. So 101.6. There's 102. So Kendor comes over. And then there's a couple 3s. 203. And 2 of them are tied, but you use the tiebreaker and he is perfect from the advantage. So they'll be in post position 1. Okay. So there you have that. The only thing that we are going to do when they change, we're going to change everybody to 126. Or wait, the only reason why it's handicapped is I think there was a filly in the race, and if there's a filly, they carry, I think, 122 or 123. Okay, so we'll save the field. And we're good. So what I'm going to do then, what I'm going to do is race selection, go back to the Kentucky Derby. And here you go. Here's the field for the Kentucky Derby, and you can see the morning line odds, and looks like both fish and 1 and 2 have some pretty high odds. Assault looks like the favorite, pretty much overwhelmed with Hampton second. So there you have it for Holiday Special episode number 1. Again, if you like to wager with fantasy money, let's say you have 300 TRG fantasy bucks. And if you like to wager, I'm sorry, put your wager in the comments of the YouTube video, and we'll put your wagers in before we start the Kentucky Derby. And the Kentucky Derby will be aired, let's see, let's go with January 1st, probably around 6 to 8 p.m. So anyway, this is Gary signing off from TRG Central. I hope you enjoy a preview of the 1946 season set.